amazed that you can get a car with this engine and this gearbox for south of 30 grand. It's an absolute performance bargain. So this is undoubtedly a faster car, but it feels like the chassis matches the engine. It really does. There is so much to love and appreciate about the 140, but brilliantly, there is so much more to appreciate about the M4. So now we're going to jump back in the 140 and we're going to do something really, really foolish. We're going to switch the JB4 on and we're going to give the little 140 almost as much power as this and see whether that makes it better. See how it compares to this. Okay then, let's see what this JB4 is all about. Does it turn a 140 into an M4 killer? I don't know if it's placebo, but it sounds like there's a little bit more turbo noise. Right, sport mode. Let's have some manual gears. Does make this car feel rather skittish. It feels pretty close performance-wise to the M4. In a car that should not have this amount of power. Really should not. This car does actually feel lighter, not because of the JB4, but just in comparison to the M4, it feels a little bit lighter. I think the lightness is probably more noticeable than the size, because the M4 is so easy to place and it's so precise that you can put it where you want to on the road. So even though it's a little bit bigger, you never feel it's too big for the road. But the lightness, this just feels a chunk lighter than the M4. Does feel more traditionally turbocharged with the extra boost, and bloody hell it gets on. I don't know whether it's just the fact that it's a more typically turbocharged power delivery that makes it feel fast, or whether it really is sort of M4 pace now. Either way, it doesn't bloody need it. Doesn't have that front end bite. The composure under the brakes isn't there. It's a bloody fast car for this sort of money. Again, doesn't like that bumpy section there. So the answer to the question, what happens when you give an M140i a chunk more power, is it makes it even more overpowered. So where I would drive a standard one of these and say, okay, we need to address the chassis and the brakes, this takes it even further away from being sensible and exploitable. It really does. So it highlights the fact that this car could probably do with some improvements in the chassis department. like it moves around a little bit more than the M4 as well under power. I don't mean that it's sliding, I just mean it sort of jiffles around on the road a bit more. So there we go, whilst it's an awful lot of fun, a 140 with almost as much power as an M4 isn't quite the car that an M4 is. So what I'd like to do now is move this car more in the direction of the M4 from a chassis perspective. I'd like to give it the brakes and the handling that it deserves. It would certainly be shooting high to aim for as good as the M4, but it would be really interesting to see how far we could bridge the gap with a few well-chosen modifications. So I think in the next video we'll take a look at some of the first modifications I plan to do just that.